kind of got this feeling. It was one of those people you meet that is very peaceful.
I like the way Mark approaches his business and approaches people.
I've always watched Mark's business because Mark watches the people who are involved in his business. He always gets the best people.
He doesn't have to put his faith out in front, you know, and say, with a sign, hey, I'm a Christian. When you meet Mark, you know that he's a Christian.
He's become one of those people that's kind of a confidant. If I need advice or if I need somebody to talk to, everybody has a few people, and Mark has become one of those guys for me.
His leadership really comes through in a servant capacity where he's modeling what it means to serve people around him.
There's one word that I think of when I think of Mark Davis: generosity.
And no matter who he meets, I suppose the fact that he was raised as a missionary kid really developed him as a person who loves people, knows what people needs, knows the heart of the Bible, and the heart of the Bible is to love your neighbor as yourself.
Just not in a hurry. You know, there's a certain peace about them, and certainly Christ has filled his life.
I think when you look at Mark and you see the business side of him, his faith plays a big part of it because the integrity, the character.
Mark is an incredible individual. When you think about his generosity, that comes to mind first and foremost.
But at the same time, you felt like you were the only person there, and there's nothing else he had to do. You were the most important thing right then, and I know building relationships for him is extremely important, and I tell you right then, he did a great job of it with me.
And that's what Mark is. He just loves everybody, and he wants to take care of everybody. No matter who he meets, he just wants to take care of people.
If you look at the way HiFive interacts in the community, I mean, they give half of their profits to Christian ministries.
Mark and HiFive Construction Services became a lead sponsor for one of our local events up in Xenia, Ohio. And I went back to Mark and I said, Mark, you're given a generous amount of financial help to sponsor this event, and I'm not sure there's a lot of advertising bump for HiFive. He said, that's all right. We're not in it for the advertising. We're in it to help you.
He's a strong leader, but he doesn't try to get ahead of you. We went through some challenges on the building and we asked his opinion, and I felt like he was listening to us rather than telling us what to do.
Their whole servant mentality, the way they conduct business, the integrity, the character they have.
One of the funny things about it is Mark and Brian are very generous with the profits that they make, and as a result they have a chance to redirect how they do projects. And I asked Mark one time how he could possibly fund the kind of projects that he was doing with Christian organizations. And he said, well, we're making money with people who don't know Jesus so that we can actually fund projects of people that do know Jesus.
You can be sitting with him and all at once he just sort of he'll crack some kind of a joke, and you have to sit back and say, now what'd he say? He has a real dry sense of humor.
You know, Mark is a really good golfer. I'm not such a good golfer, but still, he keeps inviting me, and he usually puts me in his cart, and we go out, and that means that my scores are with his scores in the scrambles, but he keeps inviting me, and he keeps covering for me. So if I can get one or two good putts during a game, then we're good. So and he compliments me on those.
But Mark is a weekend lumberjack. But one thing special is his back cut. But this happens to be Mark's attempt at a back cut. And if you see this picture here, you'll see a nice little V cut, which typically indicates the direction the tree is going to fall. The back cut is usually on the back side of which direction the tree is going to fall. But obviously, this tree decided to go the opposite direction. That takes some talent to do that.
Basically, a year and a half of fun thinking about creative things we could put in a meeting place for people that would help them come close to Jesus and close to one another.
You know, we've had, in the times we've played, it's great because his personality and my personality, we can go out and I can hit the ball in the trees or hit it down the middle of the fairway, and he can do the same thing, and we're just happy to be out there. So
Mark can hit a ball further than anyone I think I've seen. The only problem about it is it has a route that typically starts off left and it swings around to the right. Probably travels about 350 yards. It can go over houses, it can go over ponds, you name it, whatever. He's perfected that shot.
As soon as I think about Mark Davis, I get a smile on my face because I think about all the times that we've had, particularly at restaurants. Mark is always saying, yeah, let's meet at, and he'll fill in some restaurant of his choice. And during those windows, I get a chance to see inside his heart. I get a chance to see what's important to him. And I always come away feeling better every single time I get a chance to hang out with him.